Welcome back to the Arts Department, everyone. I'm Autumn Rain Turkel, and this video is a sped up time lapse of a shape-oriented drawing that I did over on my stream. I go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1900 hours. The painting itself is a spooky painting that we did in October, and I'm just now getting around to it. I thought you might like to see the process of painting based on shapes and less on brush strokes. So let's get into it. The fun thing about this is I had set up a wheel that determined our theme, and we spun the wheel and it came up with the theme for us. I think this one was skulls. So I started with the idea of this graveyard in the snow and with these straight trees that had grown up, and then to bring it all together with the theme of skulls, there was these dead marcher kind of guys with skull masks. So I started laying those in and just kind of getting everything into place before I determined what I was going to actually do for the final look of the piece. I wanted to have a varied amount of the dead marchers, so I kind of went with different shapes for each one. The first step was the sketch. The next, I came in and I created a new file, and I took that sketch and dropped it into that file and then blew it up to the appropriate size. Then went in and just started going right to it. I began the entire piece on the base layer by starting at the back and just laying in kind of the groundwork for what the lighting was going to be. You can see I kind of played around until I got what I thought might be the overall feeling that I was looking for, and I wanted this gloomy, ominous kind of feel. I just used the gradient tool and smashed it in there real quick and didn't worry so much about painting in a bunch of background elements. And a lot of this was about getting a quick end product that would work as if it was just a sketch, but also could be kind of pitched as a keyframe moment. And then I just went in with shape in mind and started doing everything as a flat kind of grayscale color to begin with. I was really thinking mainly in value initially, and how I was going to make everything either recede into the background or pop forward to accent this lineup of these dead marchers. It's pretty easy. I was just using a flat brush with just a tiny bit of texture and filling everything in and kind of thinking about where that snow was and how it would be reflecting what little light there was within the piece. So the lighting structure is a little bit different than what we would normally do with an illustration, where there's either a direct light on one side or a direct light coming from above. This one was going to have lighting, ambient lighting, but then also lighting that was bouncing around from the snow. So once I got all of the kind of basic lighting into place, I started using a sharp-edged brush and painting in the smaller shapes. So basically the thought was to work your way from back to front and then from big to small. So starting in the distance and working your way forward, and then once you have a lot of those pieces into place, working from these bigger shapes down into the smaller pieces that better describe what you're trying to express. And I went in and started to flesh out each one of the silhouettes of these guys, and this is where I really got to think about what made them unique from one another and give them some body language that was different. kind of offset the leader from everybody else, and then start thinking about how they're reading against that background, and then start trying to push the atmospherics to really highlight them. You can see I put in some more light behind them, just so that they'll pop out more, so that I could keep the silhouettes of the trees what they were. Then I dropped a gradient map over it, did some playing around here, and I keep saying it, art is about playing and finding interesting things that you were unexpected. So went with kind of a blue-green in there to kind of give it that wintry vibe, but then at the same time, something's off, right? So there's that greenish hue is going to make it feel something along the lines of death, or it has a negative connotation, at least in Western culture, right? So green in other cultures means different things. Western culture, green is it has that kind of sickly feeling. So I was trying to inject that into what I was doing. At least that was in the back of my mind as I was working. A lot of this stuff you keep in mind as you work, and you let it kind of filter into what you're doing, and you don't have to keep it at the forefront of your thought. That way you can focus on other elements of the painting. But just back there is like a low-level artistic thinking, artistic muscle memory. So once I had that color in place, I was able to come in and color pick on a layer above everything else and just start painting in everything over all of the layers of color that I had already done. And on the right hand side there, you can see a multitude of layers. And so once I got the gradient map over it, I just began selecting, color picking off of the palette and painting on top of it and painting on top of it. So then I created another layer and I set that to color dodge, and then one more layer and linked it to that layer, and then painted normally on the linked layer so that it affected the color dodge layer so I could do some effects. And that's where you get that nice green glow from. A lot of those things are just little effects and stuff like that you do at the end of the painting to kind of make things pop. During the whole process, my chat had mentioned something about a bunny. So because I thought that would be fun, I included a zombie bunny, and that's where you get the blood trail and everything. That's the best part about streaming live, is they can change a painting in the middle of everything, and it can really bring a lot to it. So I really enjoy the live streams. If you get a chance, come on over. At the end here, I start to apply a little bit more effects, a little bit more color modulation, so that it's not just the gradient map, but there is some variance within those colors to do something not necessarily unique, but just more interesting visually. So even if it's just a small change, it's still a modulation that makes it so it's not as monochromatic. At the end, I started to try and push things a little bit further. So I came in with a levels adjust and pushed the darks and lights a little bit more so that it really amped up the drama. And then added some post effects like chromatic aberration. And that was the end of the piece. Signed it up and called it a day. And this is what it looks like when it's complete. All right, that's it. That's all there is. We hope that you found some value in the video. If you did, like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment down below. Do everything you gotta do to get notified next time we post something up. While you're down there, check out the social media links: Twitter, Instagram, Discord, where you can connect with the community, an art station that has resources for artists, as well as the Twitch link. We go live on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1900 hours. Come on by and join the discussion. We'd love to have you. That's all from the arts department. Keep drawing in. We'll see you next time. Welcome back to the arts department, everyone. Wow, I can't even talk today. Of painting and then to pull it together with the a varied look at different smashed it in there real quick. I didn't worry so much about, and a lot of this stuff, that was it. It was a real quickie. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you can find some, do everything you need to do to get notified next time we can post something up. That was stupid. Bell. Yeah, don't look down there. It's about 2.5 hours. Compressed it down so you can watch much. Who cares? For a community. While you're down there, nope. We hope that you found some value in the video.